Hello there, and welcome to a LEGO Star Wars set review. Today we're going to be taking a look at set 75311, Imperial Armoured Marauder from The Mandalorian. So this set came out quite recently, and I was immediately intrigued by it because it's based on quite a cool vehicle from Season 2 of The Mandalorian, which is the Trexler Armoured Marauder. It's got a serial number, but I've forgotten what it actually is. It's partially based on the Troop Transport, which originated as a toy back in the 1980s, and then was featured in Star Wars Rebels. So it's an interesting vehicle. On the surface of it, it looks a little bit bland in that it's just a big grey box, as some people have described it, but actually you get a very good vehicle for your money here. Now, I got this from Argos, and I got it at a reduced price of £26. It normally retails for £35. I'm not shilling for Argos or anything like that, just letting you know that's where I got it from. And I think at £35 it's a good deal, and at £26 it's an even better deal. So I'm going to get it built up and then tell you what I think. And here's the finished build. It went together very nicely. It was a fun build, and there's actually a lot more pieces than it looks like. Comes with the main build of the Armoured Marauder at the back, a small side build here, and then 4 minifigures, so let's take a look at those first. Up first, we've got what are the 2 slightly more interesting figs of the set. On the left, we've got a new version of Grief Karga, based on his appearance in Season 2 of The Mandalorian, so he's got that full grey beard. He only has one facial expression, which is slightly unfortunate, but it does look good. And he's got the same hairpiece as used previously. Updated printing for his robes, which is quite ornate, just a little bit dark in colour, so trying to get some light onto it there. Nice printing for the sort of waistcoat underneath, and then the robes on the outside. Of course, comes with some back torso printing, which is very basic. And then on the right, we have got the Mortar Trooper. This is somewhat erroneously put in this set. Really should have featured at the, I believe, the end of Season 1 of The Mandalorian. Obviously, there weren't too many sets made from that season, so they've put him in here, and it's nice to get a bit of variety. Uses the new dual-moulded Stormtrooper helmet, and in this case, it's got the yellow design printed on the front. Also the same for the torso and legs with the yellow design. Comes with a cloth pauldron to go on the right shoulder and a small built-up backpack to go on the back there. As with all the new Stormtroopers, it comes with a generic but distinct face. This one I think has been used loads of times before. It's the Lex Luthor, Lucius Malfoy face, but again, nice to get a bit of variety. I'll just pop the backpack off so that you can see the printing on the rear of the torso. So a little bit different there from the standard Stormtrooper printing, again with a little yellow highlight and some extra backpack detail, so it works just as well without the brick-built backpack. There we go, those are the first 2 figures, and the second 2 are very similar in almost every way. As the vehicle in this set is partially a troop transporter, it's good that we get a couple of generic troops. These are just 2 regular Stormtroopers of the modern variety, again with the dual-moulded helmet, but without those yellow highlights. The same torso and leg printing that have featured since 2014 and which still looks good. But because these are modern Stormtroopers, again, similar to the Mortar Trooper, they have got a variety of heads. So we've got one there and one there. And these are, nice variety again. Got a female head on the side here and one on reddish-brown skin here. So nice bit of variety. Obviously, can't tell once the helmets are on, but it does give some extra playability and variety if you are going to reuse them in your own creations. Of course, you could swap them over for just plain black heads, as they did when the first Stormtroopers came out, if you really would like to. They're, decent figures. I think the helmet is growing on me a little bit, mainly if you look at it just from the front. And if you were to put them in the middle of an army, I'm sure you wouldn't notice. Right, on to the 2 builds of the set, starting with the small one. I'm being a bit generous in featuring this as a separate build, although it is and doesn't really fit in anywhere else. This is the mortar for the Mortar Trooper to use. It's just built up with a handful of parts, very simple, but it's immediately obvious what it's meant to be. Just has a 2x2 round tile with the stud in the middle, so the round jumper plate to hold it down there, and then a couple of antenna as legs, which support it no problems. In fact, if it wasn't for the balance, it could probably support itself just on that clip there. It's clipped in at an angle and holds up pretty nicely. You can obviously put the Mortar Trooper next to it, and I think it scales pretty appropriately, and you can do some imaginative play. Obviously, it doesn't actually fire. And now on to the main build of the set, which is of course the Armoured Marauder. This is a really nice build. It comes together very simply, but includes a few interesting techniques just to get some of these shapes. It's actually fairly accurate when compared to the show. I would argue that maybe light grey would have been a better choice overall, but then we do get a lot of Star Wars ships in just pure light grey, so dark grey is a little bit of a variety there. Overall, it's a little bit downsized from the proper scale, as with a lot of Star Wars and other LEGO builds, but I think it captures all the details really nicely. Speaking of not being able to shoot with that mortar, this includes weapons that actually shoot. So we've got 4 stud shooters total, 2 on the front here, which are static, and then 2 on this turret at the back here, which can revolve, well, actually it can revolve a full 360 degrees with one very minor modification, which I will show you when we get to the back there. The front looks decent as well. You've got these cannons on the side that don't fire, just on turntables. They can get slightly annoying in that they will rock about a bit if you shake this from side to side, but it's not the end of the world, and you could always remove the turntables and just plant them straight on there. We'll stick with the outside for now, and then I'll show you the inside. Another cool detail are these flaps here, underneath which is one of these containers. Now, these are pretty special because they originated in the very large Mos Eisley Cantina set, and they are just those 2x2 sort of boxes. They were used as presents and a load of other stuff, but here they've been printed with some Imperial insignias and some Arabesh writing on the sides. Don't know what it says, so if anybody feels like translating it, then that would be really great. I imagine it probably says cargo or something like that. They're empty and you're not given anything to actually put in them, which is a shame, not even a pair of macro binoculars, but they're nice detail nonetheless, and they use up a good space on the set that I think otherwise would be left unused. There's one on each side and they are identical and just slip back in there. Obviously, I've shown the turrets. The doors to access the vehicle for the troopers are just here. So they fold up in 2 parts, one part there and then one part here. And they look pretty decent. It's a shame that this one can't come all the way down flat just because there isn't quite enough space. But you could technically then walk a minifigure in. It's just about space if they duck, although there are better ways to get in for us large figures. Coming around the outside, I've already shown you the turret, but I'll just show you the back of the vehicle, because that's where it's based. We've got the 2 representations of engines, one on each side, and then this big bit of armour, through which is a little hole there, and I will show you how you can see a stormtrooper sitting through there in just a moment. And then finally on the top, we've got representations of a hatch here, which does actually open. You can't get all the way down inside. There is actually a little platform there. But what this enables you to do is actually stand a figure as if they're poking up through the hatch. Maybe a little bit too high, but the kind of right height for a minifigure, so they don't, their hands don't interfere with the hole, as obviously minifigures are very wide, wider than 2 studs anyway. So there we go. That's pretty much all of the exterior. Time to show you how to get into the interior. You can access the interior in a number of ways, and there is lots of space for minifigures. In fact, the space for the minifigures in this set, plus possibly a couple more. So first of all, for the driving position, we've got 2 flaps. First of all, the roof flaps up like that, and the front flaps down. Got a small printed control panel, which I don't think has been in too many sets. It's actually on a 1x2 tile, rather than a 1x2 cheese slope, which is more common. Inside, we've just got a single seat, no other controls or levers or anything like that, but I think that's fine. Obviously, when this folds up, it'll be in the right position. Shaping around the front is actually really good. It's all just achieved with clips and bars, but everything sits in the right place, and you know, you can't push that any further back, can't push that any further down. So that's nice and easy to get a figure in and out there. It's not strictly speaking correct in that the front wouldn't open on the in-universe design, but it makes it much easier to get a figure into there. So that's one way. I've already showed you the doors, but I will just show you again that you can open up both sides and get a decent amount of light coming through the middle of the ship. And this shows you the first place where you could put probably at least a couple of figures there, maybe facing out towards the outside world, or at the very least one sat down in the middle. But that is supposed to be the sort of entry and exit way. To get into the main body of the ship, you're going to need to open up this panel here. And this reveals 2 further seats, one of which is an actual seat piece, the other of which is a modified tile with 2 studs. It's a little bit dark inside there, but that's basically all there is. There's seating for 2, so that's a total of 3. Not including those in the entry and exit way. And then finally, this armour at the back. Again, it wouldn't do this in universe, but the whole thing folds down very nicely, and inside we can see a clear half-cylinder piece, and this attaches the chair down here to the turret up above, and the whole thing is on a turntable so it can rotate freely. There is a little bit of friction there, so it will stay in position if you leave it there. You can sit a figure inside here, which in fact I will do right now, and when everything is all closed up, you'll be able to see the figure through there. Now, will I actually... Yep, there we go. You can see the figure's eyes, and if you rotate the turret, he moves side to side to follow it. Now, in the official build of the set, there is a piece just under here which stops the turret from rotating more than, you know, sort of here to here. And that is actually this piece just here, this... well, it's technically a 2x3 piece with the hole in the middle on the end. I've just removed that. It's super simple to remove, and actually stuck it in here, and I found it completely fits. You can still close the thing up completely, and if you wanted to, you could pull it off and put it back on again. So there's somewhere to store it if you don't want that piece on, as I do, because the turret in universe can rotate a full 360 degrees. I think this is a really clever method, and it's super simple as well, although I might, if I'm going to modify this, replace this with one in a solid colour to act as sort of armour when the turret is facing forwards, as these are meant to be gaps, they're not meant to be windows. So if somebody did want to attack him with his back turned, then that could be a bit disastrous. But there we go. It's a bizarre set in that at first glance it looks like it would be fairly boring, but actually it goes together really nicely. It's a fun build. It's actually a really great little play set. Obviously you've got the not spring-loaded shooters, the stud shooters do come with a whole variety of studs in trans neon green. I think it's actually just regular trans green, this colour anyway. Comes with a whole bunch of these. I've just left them off because I don't normally do stud shooters myself, and I'll probably be removing the ones on here and replacing them with ones that look a bit better. But anyway, that was the Imperial Armoured Marauder. Yeah, I forgot the name there for a second. So yeah, a really nice little set. If you can get it on sale for a little bit less, then that's fantastic. Maybe you want to pick up 2 of them. There are some really great instructions I've seen on Rebrickable for combining 2 of these into one larger and actually more prototypical set. Or if you just want to grab one at a cheaper price, then I would go ahead and do it. It's a really great set, and I would recommend it. Thank you very much for watching this review. I hope it wasn't too rambly and rushed. If you've enjoyed, then please leave a like or a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews and mock videos. And until next time, have a good one. Bye.